Hello and welcome to a video with me, your winner and trades with another video of Weekly Andrew, in which I only have one anime to actually talk about this week, like always at this point, considering I just don't really feel like talking about tons of anime anymore for some reason. But yeah, this week it's Sunrise, which I don't actually remember the actual full name of at the top of my head, but yeah. It's an Otome game anime, though it is different than what you normally see for them, considering most Otome game anime that you see are isekais or something, and this one isn't at all. Because main characters are actually playing an Otome game, where they're able to actually talk to at least one of the characters in the game. Though I don't know if that's going to change in the future where they can actually talk to more of them. But it's possible, I think, that they could eventually end up talking to some of the others at some point. But, yeah. One per character they can talk to is the prince, which is Sig, of course. And, yeah. Endo and Kobayashi are basically just trying to get a happy ending that doesn't actually exist in the game, where no one actually dies, especially Lysiote, I think is how you pronounce that, or at least the best I can do for it. But, yeah, this anime basically has like two main groups of characters. You got the two in the game, Seg and Lysiote, and also Endo and Kobayashi, which are playing the game. So it's kind of a bit weird with that, considering we're mainly seeing the characters in the game, but Endo and Kobayashi are basically always there commenting on things and kind of guiding Sig, I guess. But, yeah. Overall, I honestly am kind of enjoying it and everything here so far, though I got a feeling it's kind of going to start taking a bit of a turn soon that I'm not really going to like very much, but hopefully it should. But considering everything with anime, I'm pretty sure everything is going to work out, and considering they are trying to get a good ending where no one dies, and I have a hard time imagining that doesn't happen, considering they can't exactly reload any old saves anymore, apparently. But, yeah, I don't really have that much else to talk about for Tsunise. So I'm just going to go to the Lessons in Love update that I got around to playing this week, which is version 28 with 20 main events and 2 lost events, one for Futaba and one for Ami, which this update picks up right where the last one left off at the end of the Dorm Wars, and she ended up having that 2-month time skip to the Christmas beach uh, trip, basically. In which that happened right as Sensei was having a conversation with Yumi, in which, from what I can tell, 2 months were actually skipped, but basically all the characters and everyone there pretty much just has memories put into them to fill out those 2 months, and that's it basically. Except for the main characters that already are aware of things, which is Sensei, Ayane, and Maya, of course. But yeah, this whole 2-month time jump has absolutely nothing to do with the fact some of the stuff that Sebas had to deal with last year, and also the Chapter 1 rework that I did that kind of took time away from actually moving the story forward. It has nothing to do with that stuff. Not at all. Considering it's like this game kind of actually goes through the years as well, where you have Christmas going on at the same time Christmas is actually happening and everything. Though this update was a bit late, to be honest, considering January. But I was released to supporters closer to Christmas, at least, I guess. But, yeah. Of course, things start off with Sensei, Maya, and Ayane kind of just coming together and having a little talk to actually try and figure out what exactly just happened, considering it never happened before. So, yeah. And yeah, I'm just kind of just going to go through and just mention things I think was actually kind of important at the very least. So, start off with EO kind of walked in on Santa doing things in the bathroom. That's literally all I'm going to say there. So yeah, Santa's not exactly as innocent as she's been up to now, I guess. And also, Sensei ends up having a talk with Tsuneo, and they kind of clear things up between each other, I guess. And also come to a bit more of an understanding of each other, I think, at the very least, considering Sensei doesn't really understand love, and Tsuneo can't really read a room. So I guess they kind of got that kind of understanding of each other, I guess. Now, something, I'm not really sure. But yeah, that whole conversation seems quite important, for sure. Also, another thing is that Rin and Otaha are, of course, still fighting, considering it was just a 2 month time skip that everyone is basically teleported to months into the future. So, yeah, of course, they're still having fights, considering they literally just started fighting. It's just that they just skipped forward 2 months, pretty much. And because of all that, I guess, yeah. Ota didn't come to the beach with everyone else. So, yeah, I think she's literally the only one that actually didn't come. And Rin is basically just completely glued to her phone waiting for a response from Otaha. So she ends up trying to help her and console her a bit, to be honest. And I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm pretty sure that Rin is basically going to be the key to everything not falling apart when it comes to Chica in the future. Considering Chica's going to eventually find out about Sensei's other relationships, eventually. That's not something that's going to be hidden forever. I got a feeling Rin's going to be the key that keeps everything there from falling apart, I feel like. And, kind of closing in on the end of the first day, I guess. Already. We end up having another meeting with the plants, which I kind of think is basically just uh, the community being represented in the game, I guess. And they're just discussing things and stuff, to be honest, and kind of giving a bit of information that you wouldn't really get if you didn't weren't in the Discord or stuff, considering apparently one thing Syllabus said in the Discord is that one of the main characters is Shotokan. So apparently one of the main characters is Shotokan. So yeah, one of them is, don't know exactly who. I kind of got a feeling that might actually be Toka. No idea why, but I got a feeling it might be. Just going by some of the stuff that was in this update. Maybe. And also another thing is Sekai comes from the back from the dead. Or or maybe not, considering we may actually just be seeing things. But one thing to remember about this is nothing in this world is permanent. And also another thing here is, I think due to this, actually, this is something later on, but I'll just go ahead and mention it now. I think we actually may have actually gotten Sensei's name finally. Akira. I'm pretty sure that is actually Sensei's name. So, yeah, apparently we finally learned that after all this time. But, yeah, last thing for the first day, Makoto and Futaba confront Sensei after they learned about their relationships with Sensei. And, yeah, that event basically just leads to Futaba's lust event, pretty much, if you actually get that lust event and don't miss it. And, yeah, the next day, Rin ends up nearly having a nervous breakdown while telling Sensei that she accidentally told Otaha that she accidentally told her about his relationship with Chica. So, yeah, she's come forward with that. After that happened a few updates ago, I think, if I remember correctly. And since we're kind of on Otaha right now, just go over and start mentioning what Otaha is kind of doing, I guess. Now, And yeah, Ota is helping Nikki in the place of Noriko. Oh, because Noriko decided to go to the beach with everyone else and abandon her sister, basically. So yeah, Ota is there helping Nikki, and Nikki kind of gives Otaha some relationship advice, but somehow that ends up leading to Otaha kissing Nikki for basically no reason. Yeah, I honestly don't understand how that it led to that, but apparently that happened. And yeah, there's a lot of conversations going on in this update, to be honest. Io and Otaha had a talk about stuff, kind of getting things off their chest to each other. Which Uta's stuff was basically the whole stuff that she had in her past that she was doing that's still haunting her. That picture that we ended up getting a few updates ago. That I honestly don't know what to do with, considering you do have the option to delete it. I got a feeling I should delete it, but I'm not exactly sure if I should or not, considering I don't know if that's going to be a requirement for a kind of event or something. Yeah, I'll be honestly annoying if it is and I had to delete it already. But yeah, EO saying that she was talking about there was pretty much just what happened in her last character event, which is also a few updates ago, even longer go to be honest. But yeah, that conversation ends up leading to Io kind of talking about how the perfect relationship she could actually have with Sensei would basically involve Uta. Basically be a throuple, I guess. Apparently. Which surprises Uta, apparently, for some reason. Mm. And then I guess it's not really a final conversation. But yeah, Yumi ends up having to wants to continue that little conversation she was having with Sensei, and basically asks him to explain everything that's going on between them. And since he kind of does his best to explain it, considering he's trying to be honest at this point with her after everything. Very well, of course, being very blunt about it as well. But yeah, that conversation ends up leading to Yumi realizing that she doesn't actually remember anything from the last 2 months, or has contradicting memories from the last 2 months, considering she thought she was going to school, but then she realizes, how am I going to school when I'm suspended? How did you get back to school? Yeah. But yeah, that ended up coming up due to Yumi thinking that conversation happened yesterday, basically, while Sensei was thinking it was 2 months ago at the end of the Dorm Wars, in which Yumi then realizes she was going to have that conversation with him then, so why is she talking about it now? So yeah, you got that going on there. Yumi's kind of becoming more aware of things. But after that, we end up having Sensei ends up having a little date with Noriko, pretty much, which actually leads them to kissing, which I honestly actually didn't expect at all. That actually quite surprised me, and we also end up seeing more stuff with Sakai, because Noriko, kinds of unlocking more of Sensei's memories, I guess, doing that. But then Sensei ends up leaving Noriko once he gets a text back from Maya, so he ends up leaving after a bit there, in which Maya wants to talk about him after he forgot about going on a date with her yesterday, considering he said here she did ask him and he completely forgot. But in the little conversation that Sensei had with Maya, he kind of told her that Tsuneo may be subconsciously aware of all the resets, and also the fact that Yumi doesn't really remember anything from the last 2 months or has contradicting memories from it, that time. And also, another thing that I honestly just came out of nowhere, to be honest, with this conversation, is Sensei, for some reason, all of a sudden confesses his love to Maya out of absolutely nowhere, which completely surprises Maya, considering his head didn't explode like it basically always does for whenever he ends up doing this. And and ends up leading to them both nearly kissing, because Doka ends up cock-blocking the whole thing and possibly actually saving them, considering who knows what would have happened if they actually did kiss. So, yeah. Maybe the rules of the worlds that Maya once knew are completely gone, or possibly still there. Who the hell knows at this point? But I'm pretty sure any kind of rules that Maya actually knew of are completely gone at this point. Which is nice, I guess. But yeah, Toka basically interrupted there due to the fact that she kind of needed to give Sensei his secret Santa gift still. And yeah, the previous Christmas, the secret Santa gift Toka had for Makoto was apparently some expensive one-of-a-kind painting. So what does she give Sensei for a secret Santa gift this year? An entire apartment! Seriously, an entire apartment. And she actually bought the entire building for it. I've got a feeling she completely went the opposite direction of what. Yeah. From a painting to an apartment, I kind of feel like it's going the opposite direction of what she should be going when it comes to this stuff. But at the same time, I got a feeling this is going to play into things in the future, considering Sensei now has its own apartment. So I kind of have a feeling we may be getting some invite events soon, considering this adds a way to go around Ami, basically. So possibly getting some invites soon and invite events soon for other characters that don't have them yet. Possibly. Like Noriko. The one thing about this apartment that I kind of notice is I kind of think that, well, there's a painting there. If I remember correctly, I think that is the painting that she was going to give Makoto in from the previous Christmas. Just saying that. But, yeah. That's everything that basically happened in this update. That I felt was important at the very least. But, yeah, there was stuff right there in the final events that I honestly don't really going to mention, I guess, considering there wasn't really enough information for me to really say anything about it. But, yeah. Last thing line there ends with Sensei wondering if there's a pin that I can use to write something for. So apparently Sensei's going to be writing something down. But, yeah. One thing about this update, which was kind of foreshadowed near around in the beginning of it, was a pattern being broken. Which it was, considering Christmas and the beach basically always have something bad happen. Every single Christmas, something as bad has happened. Every single trip to the beach, something bad has happened. Combine them together, nothing bad happened. So pattern was just broken. Though I kind of feel like one bad thing happened, to be honest. I feel like, at least, which is just Futaba's lost events, considering, yeah. Fuck that god or whatever. That's basically did that. Pretty much taking control of everyone in the situation. But, yeah, that's literally everything for that update for Lessons in Love. A lot's there. And a lot of the stuff actually completely caught me off guard, to be honest. But, yeah. Each game with hell of a good story. That is also very dark, to be honest. That's part of what I like about it, I guess. But, yeah. That's all that stuff done. Stream-wise, got most of that stuff done when it comes to Ni no Kuni, Crossworlds. One more stream for it at this point, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not going to be doing it this weekend, considering I want to wait until I actually have the level 2 reputation in the Rainbow Valley so I can just get through it all and be done with that entirely, considering I want that to be the final stream on Ni no Kuni Crossworlds, because I honestly don't care about the rest of the damn story that's currently in the game. Just want to get what was initially in it done, and that's it. So possibly Tuesday, I guess, is when I'll maybe streaming that. If not, then Wednesday. I'm really not sure. But I don't think it's going to be on the weekend, considering it won't have the level 2 reputation done in the Rainbow Valley. Yeah. But next week, I already know what anime I'm going to be talking about, considering it's getting its final episode next week, the Shadow Garden one. So I know I'm going to be talking about that anime next week, and definitely should be getting around to Devious Worlds next week as well, and doing that update for it. So yeah, I kind of got things planned out for next week already, I guess. Charles and Tainted Space, I did play it 2 days, I guess, this week, which is less than normal, I guess. But I haven't actually gone to Tarkus just yet. But I did actually basically finish everything else up, considering I remember tasks to go through and recruit Kiro and Paige, considering those are basically the only things I could actually possibly do at this point. Guess I've literally done everything else I can do before going to Tarkus. So, yeah. Basically got all that done, so pretty sure the next thing for me to do is actually going to Tarkus and continuing the main story. But, yeah, I guess at that point I pretty much exhausted everything that I really had to talk about this week. Which, to be honest, was basically just lessons in love, pretty much. So, yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.